Hi everybody, Kerry here at the North East Autism Society, and I'm joined by Tony and Danny from the Life Science Centre.
Hi.
And today it's time for our activity. So I'm just wondering, Tony and Danny, why do you have flowers?
That's a very good question. They do look quite nice, just in shot anyway, but they are here for a reason. Have either of you two ever read or seen a film of Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, it's one of my favourite films.
One of my favourite books.
Well, you'll remember then, there is a scene where the Queen of Hearts' servants are painting the white roses to be red.
Yeah, because they planted the wrong kind and the Queen likes red roses.
Exactly. So I thought, instead of painting flowers, could we use science to make them change their colour instead? I have white roses, and I also have some white chrysanthemums.
I've got some white tulips here.
This should work with any kind of white flower, but I find that these ones that we have tend to work pretty good. But feel free to experiment with different white flowers. As well as the flowers, I have an empty glass.
I've got an empty jam jar.
Some scissors.
I'll be very careful using these and ask a grown-up if you need help.
A spoon for mixing.
Spoon.
A jug of water.
Water.
And this is from the tap, so it's just kind of room temperature, just the kind of water you'd put on flowers anyway. And finally, food colouring.
Yeah, I've got some red, green and purple food colouring.
I've got red, blue and yellow, and already I've stained my fingers by picking them up. So that's the thing with food colouring, is it's meant to stain things different colours, and that includes your skin and your clothes and anything else it gets on. So be careful with it and wash it off once you're done.
I've got some kitchen paper nearby to mop up any spills in case it gets messy.
That's a very good idea. Our first step, we're going to take the cup and we're going to pour in a little bit of water. We don't need too much, just enough that the flowers can reach it. Because if it's only a small amount, it means when we do our next step, which is adding the food colouring, we can put loads of food colouring in and make it really concentrated, because the more food colouring there is, the more likely our flowers are going to be to take it up. So step 2, next step, add in some food colouring. Okay. I'm going to go for red.
I'm going to try purple.
And there's not a precise amount you should add. I'm adding quite a lot, just to kind of see how it goes. But again, it's something you can kind of play with, try different amounts and see how it affects your flowers. But however much you do, you want to try and get a nice rich colour.
I guess you need it to be quite dark so that the colour's quite strong on the flower.
They're nice colours, a nice red and a nice purple. I like them colours.
All right, now to pick our plants and get them ready, I'm going to go for this nice big rose.
What does it smell? What does it smell like, Danny?
I couldn't really compare it to anything other than roses, but it's a nice smell. And different flowers will smell of different things, but I think it's quite nice.
Mine smells very fresh and green and leafy, like reminds me of springtime.
Once you've picked your flower, you'll need to get it ready. So if it's got any leaves on it, get rid of those. And also be careful of roses, especially because they often have thorns on their stems, so you don't want to prick your fingers on those. And then we're going to use the scissors and trim our flowers to be a little bit shorter. We want them to still reach the food colouring, but we don't want them to be really long and sticking out the glasses. And we're going to cut it at a 45-degree angle compared to the stem.
Oh, that means like on a diagonal.
Exactly.
Okay.
go. And then pop it into your water.
There we go.
It'll take 1 day, 2, maybe 3 days for this to have an effect, but eventually you will get some very colourful looking flowers.
I've set my flowers up with purple, red and green food colouring. Now we'll wait and see what happens after a few days. 6 hours later, you can see that the flowers in the red liquid are starting to look a little pink. There's not much change in the flowers in the green or purple liquid yet though. A day later, you can see that the food colouring has travelled from the jar up to the petals. So I now have some blue, pink and green flowers. The colours aren't quite as strong as the food dye at the bottom. And interestingly, the purple has actually turned the flowers blue.
But how does the colour get from the liquid at the bottom to the petals at the top?
That's a good question. Inside flowers, inside all plants, there are tubes that carry around water and nutrients, kind of like how we have our veins and arteries that carry oxygen and nutrients all around our body in the blood. In a plant, the tubes that carry water are called xylem. And so the xylem draw up the water from the roots all the way up to the leaves and the flowers and things like that. But if there's stuff in the water like food colouring, that'll get drawn up too. Because the petals are so pale, we can see the food colouring inside the petals. And so it makes them go from being white to being, well, whatever colour we've put them into.
Ooh.
Well, I can't wait to see our young people's flowers and see what happens. So if you do try this activity, then send us your pictures and your videos and let's see what different coloured flowers we can make. So I'll see you all very soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.